Want to run through the quality command in the 2D and the 3D area. It's been a couple years since I've done a video on this. There have been a couple little changes here. So here in the 2D area, I'm going to go ahead and select these parts and make parts out of them. I'm going to leave this rectangle out of my selection for parts for right now. I'll show that in the quality command why I've got that there. So I'm setting my quality for medium for all these for right now. So if I start the quality command, we've got a little key here that shows us what the different colors are going to mean. Right now everything's in green for the medium quality. So if I want to change quality on this part here, I just have to click somewhere on one of the edges of the part and brings up this tool here. So the paint command, you can select quality. So if we want to do fine, click on paint, and if you want to apply that to an entire geometry, you just see a little dotted line that extends from that. You can just double click your left mouse button and that'll do the entire cut. If you want to just do that for the portion of a cut, you can basically left click one point and then left click another point, and you don't have to be right at one of the snap points. It can be anywhere in between, wherever you want. So I left click again and then I hover my mouse, and if I want this portion to have that quality applied to it, then I left click and lock that in there. So just left click, and left click. Since I do have my snaps on, if I want to be more particular about it, so if I want to go from this snap point here to this snap point down here, once those snap points shows up, I can just left click and lock those in there. So that's the paint command. On part, we'll apply whatever the selected quality is on the entire part. So I click that, everything is now fine. Let's go back to medium on part. And then the other button here, area. So the area selection, click on area, and you can left click and you can have this rubber band go around whatever geometries and apply that quality in that area. So left click and left click. And if you're crossing a geometry, like if I left click down here and then hit enter, you'll see on that one there that it put the quality on the part where that line crossed that part there. And then the other choice here is in object, so that's why I've got the rectangle drawn here. So click on in object, and if I choose this object, then it applies that quality to everything that's inside or crossing that object there. And then new one that they added in the past year was this holes option. So with this, if you have a part that's got a bunch of geometries that are the same and you want to be able to easily select those, so all these small holes, maybe I want to do those as extra fine, you can choose the holes command, and then down at the bottom you'll see that it prompts me to select filter, and then as I move my mouse around it highlights geometry in yellow. So if I want to select the holes that are of this size, when I hover near one of these I just left click, and that tells IGEMS that I want to select all the holes of that same size and geometry, and then I can just drag a box around everything and it's going to find all of those holes and apply the quality to that. And then the other option here, other parts, this will apply whatever your selected quality is to the entirety of whatever parts that you select. So you don't have options when you do this one to do things like the paint command and things like that. It just applies that quality to the entire part that you select. So now if we do our quality command again, we'll see that these parts are now in extra fine. So that's the 2D version. So in 3D, so you'll note that if we click on the quality button here, it's always going to show your 3D parts as being medium quality, even though you may have applied different qualities to this part in the 3D world. So if we double click on this part and bring it into the 3D area, if you go into your cam tab and go into toolpath, you've got this box down here that shows quality, but that can be a little bit tricky in that, for example, the outside we see extra fine. However, if you click on this button here and you go into it, then you see actually there's 4 different qualities on that cut there. So recently they've added this quality button here. Works similar to what we just saw in the 2D area. Click on quality, and it shows us the different qualities that are on that part. And then down here at the bottom, it prompts you to select toolpath. So if I click on this toolpath here, we get the tool here, and so if I want to change the quality on this one here, I'll click on fine. And this one works a little bit differently right now. You can't just double click if you want to change this entire cut to fine. So if you're in here, you can click and then just move away a little bit, click again, and then left click to lock it in. And then if you want to complete that, you just left click here, and do it like that. Or if you are going to do it for the entire geometry, the easier way would be to come in here and choose the whole and change it to fine. So a couple ways of doing that. So on the outside cut, if we want to change something here, click on this toolpath. First of all, if I click on clear, that'll, in this case, sets everything to the extra fine quality. And then if I want to change quality for a portion of the cut, click on fine and click on where I want to start, where I want it to end, and then hover your mouse and left click so it applies it to where you want it. And then if I want to do medium, from here to here, and then left click, and then rough from here to here, and then left click. So that's how the quality command works. If you have any questions, let us know. Thanks.